Hi everyone. So I was setting up my security lab on EC2 this weekend, and one of the things I rolled out, which I like to use a lot, is Splunk, and I use it for my log management. I don't see a lot of other people using this in their security labs, but it's one of my go-tos because it's so easy to get your log data into there, and especially when you're trying out for, let's say, your CEH or something like that, where you're attacking systems, you really want to see what's going on with that attack data. So let me get into it and just show you around a little bit. Splunk is a free thing, so you can go ahead and download it. There's even a really cool service they offer, Splunk Storm, which is cloud-based. It's also free for us low-end users. But first things first, let's go in and look at adding in some data. So if you go to Add Data here, you'll see it's really easy to add in data. You can collect Windows events logs locally, which is all I have set up right now for this test machine here. You can add in IIS logs, Apache logs. You can add in straight from a file. You can upload a single file to this, and you can start parsing it. You can upload directory of files. You can upload all sorts of crazy stuff, your registry data, performance data, whatever you want. Now, right now I've just got security logs and I think system logs going into here, and so you can see it's only 72,000 events, so nothing crazy there. But let's just take a look at an example here. Now this is, the searches I'm going to do here aren't anything crazy you couldn't do with another tool, but just to show off what searching in Splunk is like. And searching in Splunk is kind of like searching in Google. If I'm looking for my administrator logs, or where my administrator logged on and stuff like that, I just type in administrator and goes and finds them. Now there's a bunch of Splunk search operators you have to look up and play with, but even just the most basic thing, envision using this for IP addresses. You pop in an IP address and it just finds that IP address or a host name, and it just makes your log analysis real easy. Now let's do a little bit of a different, Windows event logs, they show all sorts of crazy stuff. They show all these sorts of network logons and stuff like that. So let's trim it down to just the ones that are local logons. So we're going to do logon type 2. Logon type equals 2. And there you see where my administrator logged on, and he logged on locally. So I've got 13 events for that. Now how about I do where we logged in over RDP? So that's an interactive logon, just type 10. Maybe I want to see them both together, so log on type 2 and type 10. As you can see here, there's retrieve events. There's some, a lot of this, it looks just like searching in Google for most of these, and you can use it just like that. Now let's take a look at maybe visualizing some of this data. So I see that the administrator is logging on. Maybe I want to know who else is logging on, how often they're logging on. So here's a search that I've got, and this is one that will create a chart. And this is just to show you there's plenty of cooler things you can do with this really, but this is just to show you how charts are set up in Splunk. So I've got my logon type 2, so that's my local logons, right? Chart count by account name. There we go. I see my administrator for 24 instances, and I can visualize it in a pie chart or bar chart or whatever kind of crazy chart I can think of. All sorts of stuff that you can work with here. The radial gauge, I haven't worked with that one, so couldn't really tell you. But but this is basic information that you can really use whenever you see whenever you have more users across the network. You're going to be able to take searches like this. It's a real basic example, but you're going to be able to take searches like this and see all your users, and you're going to see where maybe you have one user that's got way more activity than others. And if I click this, it takes me right back to logon type 2, account administrator. So it makes it very easy to work with. All right, that's it. Thank you for watching.